Trapped in Silence, Revised Version, The Marriage. Emma had always imagined her wedding day filled with joy, white flowers, laughter, and a promise of love. But life often has its own plans. At 24, she found herself marrying a man she barely knew. His name was Victor. He was older, calm, and enigmatic, with eyes that seemed to see everything yet revealed nothing. Her parents insisted he was perfect, successful, educated, and kind. Emma had met him only 3 times, each meeting brief and formal, yet she clung to hope that love might grow. On the wedding day, Emma wore a simple white dress. Victor held her hand gently, smiling politely. "You look beautiful," he said softly. Emma returned the smile, trying to convince herself that it was enough. Even as they exchanged vows, a tiny shiver ran down her spine, a whisper of unease she tried to ignore. Chapter 2: Settling In. The first days at Victor's house were quiet. The house was large, almost too large for a single couple. Victor showed her the rooms and explained the household rules. At first, everything seemed normal, but Emma soon noticed subtle things that made her uneasy. Victor always seemed to know where she was. If she went to the kitchen, he appeared minutes later, asking questions she couldn't easily answer without feeling guilty. "Emma, why are you going outside?" he asked one afternoon. "I just wanted some fresh air," she replied, surprised. Victor's lips pressed into a thin line. "It's unnecessary. You can stay here. It's safer." Emma laughed nervously. "Safer? From what?" Victor didn't answer. He just stared. Chapter 3: Signs of Obsession. Days turned into weeks. Victor's control became more obvious. He decided when she could sleep, when she could eat, and forbade phone calls or visits to her parents. Emma's world began to shrink. Even walking in the garden felt dangerous because Victor would silently follow her, sometimes writing in a notebook. "I can't stay here forever," she thought one night, lying awake. "I need to escape, but how?" Her heart pounded whenever he entered the room. Sometimes he would sit silently, memorizing her expressions. Sometimes he whispered, "You're mine, always mine." Chapter 4: Fear and Discovery. One day, while Victor was outside on a call, Emma peeked into his study. She discovered dozens of notebooks filled with meticulous records of her daily routines, her habits, even her moods. Her hands shook as she read. Went to the kitchen at 10:15. Smiled, talked to nobody. Hair tied differently. Wears blue today? Close quote. Emma felt a chill run through her body. This wasn't love, it was obsession. That night, she secretly dialed her parents. Victor noticed the slight vibration of her phone. He snatched it from her hand. "No one is calling you. No one," he said quietly, almost threateningly. Half Chapter 5: Planning an Escape. Emma knew she had to be clever. She studied Victor's routines. He always went to the same room at 10 p.m. and left a small window in the guest room slightly open. Her pulse raced as she imagined escaping. Every sound could alert him, but the desire to breathe freely outweighed the fear. She packed a small bag with essentials: phone, cash, a change of clothes. She rehearsed her route in her mind. Every movement became part of a carefully timed plan. Chapter 6: The Night of Escape. The night finally came. Victor fell asleep early, exhausted from work. Emma waited until she heard his soft breathing. Tiptoeing to the guest room, she opened the window and slipped out. The cold night air hit her face. For a moment, she froze, afraid of making any sound. She heard Victor stirring and whispering her name, Emma, but she ran, faster than ever, down the garden path and into the dark streets. Her adrenaline guided her steps. Chapter 7, Reaching Safety. She reached a small phone booth and dialed her parents. Her voice trembled, but relief washed over her when they answered. Within minutes, they arrived, embracing her tightly and assuring her it was over. Looking back at the street she had fled, she felt both fear and triumph. Victor might still be out there, obsessed, but she was free for now. Chapter 8, Healing and Strength. Back with her family, Emma began therapy. Nightmares haunted her, but slowly she rebuilt her sense of safety. She learned to trust herself, set boundaries, and never ignore warning signs. The experience changed her. She grew stronger, wiser, and more determined. Victor's shadow might linger in her memory, but it could no longer control her life. She reclaimed her freedom, one step at a time, breathing deeply, finally able to dream again.